Evening, everyone. This is the Emirates Stadium in North London, and this is the moment that Arsenal have been waiting for. It's in their hands, it's up to them. 2 games. 2 games. That's it, fellas. Win them both and you're champions. A warm welcome to the Emirates Stadium, the North London sky darkening, and the home crowd ready for a night that could write itself into Arsenal folklore. 22 years, that's how long it's been since Arsenal last won the title. Tonight, fixture number 37 of 38, and the maths are really simple. 2 wins to be certain, 1 win tonight, and the title race might even be over before they visit Selhurst Park on Sunday, depending on what Manchester City do at Bournemouth tomorrow night. And they should get their scalp tonight, as Natalie's been saying, because in the away end and in the away dugout, the visitors are a club already broken. Relegated last month, manager Scott Parker left at the end of April. They sit 19th, 21 points. They come here looking for an opportunity to cause the biggest shock of the season, and we have had a few of those. It would be one hell of a shock though. That 58-point gap between these sides is the largest separation between any 2 teams in Premier League fixture history. Stuart Pearce is here. Is this the night the crowd has been waiting for? There's a win tonight, 90% clinch it, or will Arsenal still be sweating come Sunday? What do you think?
Well, I think it's when it's your team and you're playing, they still have a little nervous moment, no doubt about that. But a lot is hinging. We fully expect Arsenal to do their work tonight to get these 3 points, but a lot will hinge. All attention will go to Bournemouth tomorrow and that result. If it's in the balance come next Sunday, there's a lot of neutrals will be delighted with that.
Paul Chin is the referee. VAR is James Bell. Arsenal in red shirts with white sleeves, white shorts and red socks. Burnley in light blue. But this is the Arsenal party. This is the time for their team to shine and their supporters to revel in what could be a historic moment. Everyone cloaked in red and white, apart from that small section in the away end. Tomorrow night, kick-off takes you to the bridge into Bournemouth. Wednesday in Istanbul, Aston Villa go for European glory. Saturday, the prize is the Premier League for Hull or the sneaky Saints, maybe. And then Sunday, the final day of the season. It's all on TalkSport. You know where it's at. And we're underway for the final home game at the Emirates Stadium of the season for Arsenal, who hope to be the champions-elect by the end of the night. I'll go through the 2 11s for you in just a second. Saliba at the heart of the defence has just hoiked the ball towards the halfway line, and Maxime Esteve has just guided it all the way back to his goalkeeper, the newbie, Max Weiss, away to our right-hand side. Made a couple of good saves in that Aston Villa game last Sunday, which was his debut in the Premier League in the Burnley goal. It's Raya in goal for Arsenal, the man who's won the Golden Glove award already. Mosquera is playing right back, and he's got a challenge now because coming up against him on the left-hand side is Jadon Anthony. Hannibal runs towards the edge of the area. It's played by Saka off of Hannibal, and it goes out for the first corner of the game. The rest of the Arsenal team then: Mosquera the right back, Saliba, Gabriel and Calafiori the back 4, Rice and Ødegaard in midfield with Saka, Eze and Trossard behind Havertz in attack. They're defending a corner which will be taken from this near touchline. Jadon Anthony is the man who's going to take it. It's the first of the game so far for Burnley, away to our left in front of the North Bank. And here is Anthony with 2 hands in the air. Esteve moving at the far post, waiting to try and make some room. Hannibal is on the goalkeeper. There's a few balloons popping around the stadium as the ball goes in towards the near post. Hannibal tries to flick it behind him, and it comes off Kai Havertz and goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our left. Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, even the fact that Burnley have forced a couple of corners this early on will be a little bit of a concern. You can see the technical area there. Both manager and coach flapping around, hoping for not an early conceded goal.
Anthony delivers the ball towards the far post. It's headed away, but only as far as the Fleming edge of the area. It's poked towards goal, and it wasn't too far away from causing a few issues there. That was Axel Florentino, who just got the nudge from the edge of the 18-yard box. He trickled towards the far post and goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. The Arsenal fans in fine voice. After tonight, history could be one win away. They could become only the sixth English club to win the league and European Cup or Champions League in the same season, but what they have to do is make sure they get through the final job domestically first. 2.5 minutes gone at the Emirates Stadium. Ball sent long up towards Havertz, won by Trossard after a mistake by Florentino. Picked up by the Belgian, who plays it square. He's been important towards the end of this run, has Leandro Trossard, and he guides it back to Martin Ødegaard, the captain, who just drops deep into a more midfield position, lays it on to Gabriel, and then they start to work the ball forward again. And I think maybe that's going to be his role, isn't it, Ødegaard? Just dropping a little bit deeper, looking to find that forward creative pass.
Yeah, they know when Burnley, good shape to them, dropping back, we need to find that space.
Mosquera jinks forward down the right wing position, gives it to Eze, gives it back to Saka, pokes it through to Havertz, now onto Ødegaard, lifts it over the top, Havertz takes it down elegantly, across comes Instead, puts it out on this near side, it's away for a throw-in down by the corner flag. 0-0, that was the best bit of football that Arsenal put together so far in the opening 4 minutes, and it was good, sharp, intricate and confident, Stuart.
Yeah, it certainly was. Very good play there, and a little sort of up and over to get Havertz in, but it just went away from him. Estevez come across and just dealt with the situation.
Back in by Mosquera from the right side. It was a bit of pressure for Saliba to deal with, and Fleming almost nabbed it, didn't quite, and Arsenal have it once again. Just in front of the centre circle is Trossard. He tiptoes forward, rolls his studs over the ball, goes backwards, plays it square. Now Rice edging it on towards Mosquera. He's got Saka for company down the right side. Estevez following him at the moment. Rice guides it back into William Saliba, and then Gabriel nudges it forward onto Trossard. Back wide it goes to Calafiori, who's fit and bounding forward down the left side for Arsenal. A great ball back to Trossard, but he's kept it in play. Florentino trying to cause him problems. Reaches out but can't reach the ball, and then Declan Rice onto Mosquera. Back to Declan Rice once again. Then into Martin Ødegaard, immediately hounded by Zian Fleming, but he holds off the charge of the Dutchman.
Just looking at Arsenal there, they've almost got Trossard and Eze on the same line there, tucked inside, and I don't know whether that's a tactic on the build-up or not, or to overload that central midfield area.
Keep an eye on it. Here is Ødegaard again dropping deep in between the two centre-backs now, almost like a deep-lying playmaker to try and breach the lines. He keeps hold of the ball, he goes from left to right and back again. Then works it to Mosquera, up to Saka. Saka holds onto it well, gets the better of the defender on the near side, Luca Perez, and turns it back into Rice, and then Saka tries to get in between Ugochukwu and Florentino Luis, and Estep has to come out and take emergency action and kick it out on this near touchline and away for a throw-in. Mikel Arteta, as is his wont, doesn't seem to be spending too much time in that technical area, going out either side of it. They are quite big, those technical areas. There's enough room, doesn't need to be a caged animal. Here is Havertz on this near touchline, looking to flick the ball into Saka. It's headed away but comes back to Havertz, and he overhits his pass down the right side, which was aimed to Mosquera, and it runs out and away for a goal kick away to our right hand side. This is TalkSport. Only basement boys Wolves have collected fewer points than Burnley's 9 on the road this season, but they are by far and away the worst defensive team away from home in the Premier League. Burnley have conceded 45 goals in their 18 trips, and Victor Gyökeres has had a particularly good record against what you would suggest are the weaker teams in the league, Stuart. Are you a little bit surprised that he's not in the starting lineup tonight?
I think there's a viewpoint here of what's coming up ahead, I think maybe he thought, I'll put Gyökeres in at Palace, it might be a bigger game than tonight's game, and then obviously he's got that build-up as well to the Champions League final to start there.
That will be live on TalkSport, by the way. So will the Europa League final and the Conference League final, the Championship playoff final, whenever it decides to take place. And we hope that there's going to be a resolution to that tomorrow, by the way. We will bring it to you live on TalkSport, plus the League One playoff final and the League Two playoff final as well, and the Championship playoff final to decide who goes into the WSL next season. So all of the big showpiece games are available on the TalkSport network. Just download our app. You can flick between the two stations, and our app is the perfect place to consume all of the best content, including the watch-along between Chelsea and Tottenham tomorrow, when Pep Guardiola is taking Bournemouth apart. That's what I hope anyway. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy will be duelling over on the far side. Well, one of our colleagues here, he's literally sitting 3 steps in front of us. Oliver Holt is just tapping away on his laptop, I can see, but he has filed a story in the last 10 minutes which says exclusive: Pep Guardiola quits Manchester City, legendary manager to leave the club at the end of the season after the FA Cup triumph at Wembley. It's a story actually that Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs have been running on TalkSport for a couple of weeks now, and I think we all expected that to be the case. We'll try and firm that up, but it looks even more advanced now. The Mail reporting that, and I know that our sources have been suggesting that as well, that Pep Guardiola will leave Manchester City at the end of the season, and that wonderful 10-year tenure will come to an end. Ball cleared away here at the Emirates Stadium. Halfway line it goes. It's collected by Gabriel. We'll try and firm that up for you, although I imagine Manchester City will not be giving any comment at this moment in time, but that story being run by one of the national newspapers tonight. 9 minutes into the game, it's Arsenal 0, Burnley 0 on TalkSport, and it's picked up by Mosquera and played back into the heart of the defence, and William Saliba onto Gabriel. You've not missed anything here at the Emirates. It's still 0-0, and Burnley just sitting back behind the ball, and Arsenal trying to find a way through. Rice down the left side of the centre circle, helps it on towards Calafiori, and a first time ball into the channel, looking for the run of Eze. Eze comes across, he tries to left something on him there, did he? Goes out and away for a free kick over on the far side, and it's an Arsenal set piece on the edge of the penalty area. Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, poor place to give a free kick away. Eze going away from goal, up the touchline towards his own goal, and a late challenge has brought him down, and there's an opportunity now from Declan Rice to whip one in the box.
Enzo Maresca has already agreed to succeed Pep Guardiola as Manchester City manager. TalkSport understands. And that's coming out from Alex Crook in the last few moments, TalkSport's chief football correspondent.
It's fair to say it's all happening tonight, Sam.
It is, isn't it? Much hasn't happened on the field so far. We played 10 minutes. It's 0-0 Arsenal against Burnley. Here is the cross from deep in towards the near post. Hand goes up from Havertz unnecessarily. Punched away by the goalkeeper Weiss, and it's eventually smuggled out into midfield. But Mosquera keeps it alive. Walker and Calafiori get on each other's way, and then it's thrashed into the box by Gabriel, and it evades Kai Havertz by a couple of inches and dribbles behind and goes out for a goal kick away to our right hand side. So 11 minutes gone. It's Arsenal 0, Burnley 0. Arsenal need to win to keep up the pressure on Manchester City, and Manchester City are changing manager in the summer. We understand that Pep Guardiola will leave, the Mail reporting that as well, and that Enzo Maresca will take over as the new Manchester City boss in the summer. Reaction to come on the Sports Bar.
Well, I've got to say, I think when Arsenal hear that news, they'll be absolutely delighted going forward.
Not sure they'll be delighted that it's announced at this juncture. Here is Chowner getting to the edge of the penalty area, going towards the right, shooting from the edge of the box for Burnley, blocked by Calafiori in the left full-back position. Back to Gabriel, up towards the halfway line, onto Havertz, who's being wrestled with. It bounces down and Eze's got hold of it now. Oh, lovely turn. He weaves away from the midfield and then sends it over the top for Havertz, but he looks as if he was nudged off the ball. It goes out of play over on the far side, and it's going to be a throw-in level with the edge of the Burnley penalty area. Oh, the referee now maybe has pulled it back to deal with a bit of argy-bargy which is going on. Trossard had a word with Hannibal,
I'll tell you what, Trossard and Fleming it was, I think, that come face to face, and Trossard has just thrown him to the ground, and well, I tell you what, the referee didn't see it at all, so we'll be taking the guidance of external eyes, I think.
Is that a bit of Low Countries angst, a bit of Dutch-Belgium?
I don't know what it is, but the bottom line is, if all of a sudden something ridiculous happens here and Arsenal get a player sent off, it changes the whole dynamic. Fleming's come in and made a challenge on Eze, and all of a sudden Trossard's decided to throw him to the floor, and he's very, very fortunate the referee didn't see that. 2 hands on his chest, he pushed him to the floor, didn't he? He did, but might be well and truly worth a yellow card potentially.
Here is Saliba, no yellow card given. It's still 0-0, 12 minutes played. Arsenal in those red shirts, white sleeves, with Saka now in possession, turns it round the corner, helps it on to Havertz, who gets it to the edge of the box, and Ødegaard. Now Saka stretching to reach it, he does reach it, gets onto his left foot, tries a strike, takes a deflection, goes over the top of the crossbar, and out for an Arsenal corner. And listen to that roar, every time they edge towards the goal, there is a noise that emanates from the stands. The Arsenal supporters believing that this is the night that they take an unassailable lead at the top of the table. Won't quite be unassailable, but it'll be as close as you can get to it without winning the title. They know that. Win tonight, there'll be 5 points, the difference to Manchester City, who still will have 2 to play, but Arsenal will have 1 in the back pocket as well. Saka to send the cross in from the near side. He's got 4 at the back post to aim at, 1 underneath the crossbar, 1 on the penalty spot in Gabriel. Eze comes short for the delivery, Trossard comes towards him too. It's Trossard who gets it off Saka, gives it back to Eze. Eze across to Ødegaard, who's in a lot of space, finds it. Trossard down the right hand side into Havertz, he strikes it, and it goes wide of the left hand upright. And a couple of accusations that it might take a deflection, but that looked like a well choreographed move to orchestrate space on the edge of the box there, Stuart. Did you see it like that?
Oh, without a doubt, it's a well worked free kick. All of a sudden Arsenal got 5 players against 6 against 4 in this area, just on the edge of the box, just inside the box, and when it fell to Havertz, he's convinced that it's well, to be honest with you, it was going wide, but it has took a clip off of Fleming, I think.
Well, it remains 0-0 on TalkSport after 14 minutes, and what they would really love is a nice early goal here. I haven't quite had one of those just yet. Haven't really forced Weiss into a save. Here is Trossard, Eze, back to Trossard again. Trossard gets to the edge of the area, cuts in on his right foot, gets to the edge of the right footed shot, hits the post, and it comes back out into the open penalty area, and it's cleared away by Ested. Well, Leandro Trossard took matters into his own hands. He skated forward to the edge of the box, shifted it onto his right foot, and bulleted the ball down towards Max Weiss's right hand upright, and he cracked it hard.
It was top quality finish. Walker's given him far too much room to come inside and open the goal up, and he's one of those players we talked about pre-game that in the last couple of months has really come up for air, and from a time where he couldn't get in the side, all of a sudden he's very integral to this Arsenal team.
15 minutes gone, Arsenal 0, Burnley 0. By the way, if you want more details on the Pep Guardiola departure, Enzo Maresca situation at Manchester City, our website talksport.com will have all the details, and we'll have a full bit of reaction at half time with Natalie Sawyer, and then after we finish here tonight, we're going to have a sports bar from 10 o'clock, and I'm sure that will quite obviously be filled with content from Manchester City or about Manchester City, and probably Arsenal as well if they've won this game. They haven't yet, it's 0-0, and here is Trossard. Lovely jinking run, gets beyond Walker, who committed. He gets down the left, he pulls it towards the edge of the area, he can't find Havertz, but the clearance comes back to Eze, who helps it over the top, but he overhits that, and it runs away from Kai Havertz and goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right. They're just starting to find their groove a little bit now, Arsenal.
They are. I think they've just got over the enthusiasm of Burnley's start to the game. They've been really sharp, pressing and closing down. All of a sudden they've just slowed down a little bit, and Walker's been done for the second time there, and this is a man who can deal one-on-one with some of the best in the world, and Trossard's just gone past him very easily.
You're listening to Arsenal 0, Burnley 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream every remaining Premier League game live on Sky Sports with a flexible Now membership. There is Rice down the middle, all the way back to the goalkeeper Raya. Raya gets it back to Rice. I forgot Raya was playing actually. Most of the football been playing in the Burnley half for the last 12 minutes after that initial enthusiasm from Burnley. But they're coming forward now with Hannibal Mejbri, who skates past Trossard, gets down the right side of the area, attempts to cross, but it's overhit. It goes right the way through the box and comes out the other side. A back heel by Luca Pires finds Jayden Anthony, and then Jayden Anthony goes round Saka and gets into a crossing position. His left-footed ball into the box is steered away by Declan Rice. He does brilliantly, and now Havertz has to keep hold of it on this near side. He slips, and Esteve manages to take possession for Burnley in those light blue jerseys through the centre circle. Once under the charge of Pep Guardiola, of course, has the ball over on that right-hand side. 18 minutes gone. Arsenal 0, Burnley 0 on TalkSport. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, the breakfast show will be on from 6 a.m. White and Jordan back together again from 10 o'clock. It was an absolutely belting show yesterday. And that breakfast show tomorrow, Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoy, will be fascinating listening after what happens here tonight, what's happening tomorrow, and of course what's unfolding at Manchester City right now. 0-0. Here is David Raya to take a free kick on the edge of the area. He wants to get it moving quickly, then waits and gives it to Gabriel instead. We keep moving with Declan Rice deep inside his own half, and the ball comes out towards this near somebody who was thinking about it, then went to Eze instead.
I think when we talked pre-game, we were talking about Burnley, a deep line block. I'm not so sure they've defended that deep personally, have they? It's more of a mid-block. They've tried to put pressure on this Arsenal back line on the build-up.
Well, the reason we mentioned it was because of Havertz being included instead of Gyökeres, but actually there is a little bit of space for someone to run in behind, and I thought maybe when I saw the team sheet from Mike Jackson that he'd gone the similar way that he did against Aston Villa, where they were a little bit more open. They conceded twice obviously, and they actually started the game really well. They were the better team for the first half an hour in that match. Here Arsenal, Saka, this is beautiful from Arsenal. He cuts in left, but he produces a cross. He's just behind Havertz. It was so unfortunate, because if he'd finished that, it would have been one of the special goals of the season, the way they popped it around beautifully in the approach play. Ødegaard and Eze, then getting it out to Saka. His cross just evaded by Havertz.
Yeah, Arsenal's interaction in that central area, well, you can with Ødegaard and Eze, really players, but little give and goes, little overs, and Saka's fed one into the box, but just too far away from Havertz. Michael Jackson there, he's on his feet, telling his players to stay back and play from the back, and they've gone, I don't know whether you call it safety first or not, they pushed everyone up and kicked.
I thought you were going to say Michael Jackson's telling the Burnley players to try and get over the Arsenal press by beating it.
Yeah, it took a while to get there. I'm with you on that, you know. He's got to be more punchy than that, surely.
I'm trying to deal with a breaking news story at the same time. Give me a break.
Oh dear, look at you slouch back there off the wall.
Well, this is hardly a thriller. Here is Ødegaard through the centre circle. Do you want to be starting something? We could do that all night.
I know. I've run out of the tracks that I know of these actually, so we can't.
Here is Eze through the centre circle, out to the right. It's picked up by Saka. Saka back to Mosquera. Then all the way back to Saliba. Now it's with Gabriel, just left of the centre circle. 21 minutes gone. Rice sends it over the top, looking for Saka, but the defending is not great, and it's back through Ødegaard into Saka again. He's going to try and keep this alive as Steph comes across, but Calafiori's, the left back, is popped up in the right wing position for Arsenal to add an extra little bit of pressure and a little bit more bodies swarming around the edge of that Burnley back line. And that's what those fullbacks do, those inverted fullbacks, and Calafiori does it from the left hand side. I think they've really missed timber in the latter months of the season doing it from the right hand side as well, because it gives you an extra number in the attack. Ødegaard forward, a step away, and they'll go out for a throw-in.
Arsenal, I think, they've looked as fluid tonight as I think I've seen them. I've got to say, the movement, the interaction, been very, very good.
Rice back to Saliba. Saliba back to Mosquera on halfway. All the way through to Saliba again. And this is Mosquera moving up down the left hand side into Havertz. Havertz nudges it back again. Then it's back out wide to the right and Ødegaard wanders infield. He looks up. He's got Eze running through the centre. And it's being watched by Axel Tuanzebe. Touched round the corner by Ødegaard, looking for Calafiori to come in from that left-hand side again. Saka's won it back. He takes it away from the defender. He moves down the right. He gets into the area. He plays it further wide towards Havertz. Havertz immediately engaged by Chukwu. Still got command of the football. Finds Ødegaard. Ødegaard back to Havertz down the right side. Oh, he just didn't quite get his body shape right to receive that, and it went behind him. He couldn't twirl quick enough to keep control of the ball, and it runs out for a goal kick away to our right. But you just get the feeling that they're starting to find their rhythm.
Yeah, they certainly are. Ødegaard especially. I think I've seen him as sharp tonight as I've seen him in a number of weeks. I've got to say, he's cut a brilliant pass back. And as you rightly say, Havertz probably either had his body in the wrong shape or wasn't expecting it.
Well, Ødegaard was the one who came off the bench and really took the game to West Ham last Sunday, wasn't he? He was the one who made the goal for Leandro Trossard with a wonderful, brilliant bit of close control and his wit and invention. Made a real difference. And I'd always sort of say this, you know, in the big games where they are tightly packed like that one was last week, you need the big players to step up and have a moment to be counted. Handball by Chowner, surely. Referee says play on. It's picked up by Calafiori. Not that anyone really knows what handball is anymore. Trossard down the left-hand side, moving towards the edge of the area. He cuts in before he reaches it. Sends across into the box, is headed away. Only as far as Mosquera. Then back into Saliba. Onto Ødegaard once more. Ødegaard back out towards the right-hand side. And then it goes back infield towards Havertz, but he can't reach it, and Declan Rice has to come in and rescue the situation, but Fleming starts to bound forward. He's looking to release Chowner, but he can't do so because Gabriel is there, and now maybe with Burnley a little bit misshapen, there's a chance to attack quickly, but Calafiori's gone backwards rather than forwards, and there's a few groans inside the stadium as that happens. Mosquera takes the ball on and moves down the right side for Arsenal. On the attack here, 24 minutes in, and locked at 0-0 on TalkSport. The noise is great inside the stadium. No fear or tension at the moment from the Arsenal crowd as Mosquera takes over, goes infield, finds Ødegaard, little drop of the shoulder and plays it centrally into Gabriel. They keep things moving once again. There was a late foul there by Hannibal, and he's not a stranger to a yellow card. Here's Hannibal Medjbri. He's going to get a word from Paul Tierney here.
Yeah, it's quite comical really. I've watched Gabriel all season arrive late and leave his body on the opposition, and he's just received one back there.
But it doesn't, if you're doing it, it doesn't matter. If you're getting it, that's when you make a fuss. That's the way it works in the Premier League. It's like those pushing and shoving episodes at corner kicks. If you're doing the pushing and shoving and you benefit from it, it's okay. If it's the other way round, you're going to make some noise.
Indeed.
You're listening to Arsenal 0, Burnley 0 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it.
It's a game of concentration, I think, for Burnley at the moment. They've stayed in the game at the moment, but they've got to operate at a high level of concentration. If they don't, this Arsenal team will pick them open.
Trossard down the left from the free kick. It's bounded nicely for Declan Rice, and then Ødegaard being rushed by Jadon Anthony gets the ball back to Rice, and Rice has to go all the way back to his goalkeeper. I just wonder if they're just missing someone in the build-up play because they've pushed so many people forward there, Arsenal, but they have picked the ball up here in the midway point of the Burnley half. Referee jumps over the ball, it goes to Trossard and finds its way now to Eze. Eze works it brilliantly out to Saka, right side of the penalty area, cuts in left-footed, needs some support. Saliba provides that. Ødegaard's got it now. Again, tightly packed on the edge of the area. Burnley plugging the gaps at the moment. But Saka's breached alive. The ball's gone into the box. It's flicked away by the defender. Almost ended up at the feet of Mosquera. And now it's cleared away upfield by Burnley. And Fleming has spotted the run of Chowner, who's speeding away down the right side. He's got Nedjbury in the centre. Hannibal controls it and wildly left-footed swipes across the ball and shanks it into the north bank.
I'll tell you what, that was a great break and a great opportunity there as it comes. I thought he should have hit it first time. It was bouncing. He decided against it. Once he took a touch, I thought, OK, fair play, you've made the right call. And on the half volley with his left foot, he just slashed it into the crowd.
This is TalkSport, and we are live at the Emirates Stadium. Tonight is a pivotal night for Arsenal in their hunt of their first title in 22 years. But breaking news also emerging from the Etihad Stadium, where Enzo Maresca has agreed to succeed Pep Guardiola as the Manchester City manager, TalkSport understands, and TalkSport's chief football correspondent Alex Crook will come and furnish you with more details at half-time. Here is Saka onto Ødegaard, infield to Rice. Rice tiptoeing forward now, pokes it into Ødegaard. Hannibal Nedjbury with the challenge. Again here, Burnley, as they put a blue blockade up in front of their 18-yard box. And they weren't defending deep, they certainly were in a mid-block, but they are not necessarily in one anymore, and they're now sitting a little bit deeper. And now a yellow card coming out for Hannibal. He was warned by Paul Tierney, but after kicking the ball away and wrestling with Gabriel, he's decided that enough is enough, and that's going to be the first yellow card of the game. Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, I feel a bit sorry for him there. The pair of them tumbled on the ball, and the ball was sort of stuck between his legs. He couldn't get it out in any way, shape or form. But another decent half break by Burnley that said, if you overextend yourself, we will counter-attack when we get the opportunity.
TalkSport, 28 minutes gone, and it's Arsenal 0, Burnley 0. Mosquera, halfway line for Arsenal, who want to be champions. Burnley's boss Mike Jackson striding around inside the technical area down in front of us. Mikel Arteta arms folded away to our left-hand side. The Arsenal crowd on tenterhooks really, and really it's almost like a tinderbox, this stadium tonight. You get the feeling if Arsenal score, the whole roof might come off. Here is Rice turning inside the centre circle.
What I think they've done well, Sam, Arsenal, is they've set a high tempo to what they're trying to do, so it's relaxed the fans almost.
Havertz down to the left-hand side, but the byline produced a cross, headed away by Ugochukwu, but Rice is there to keep it alive, so is Calafiori, and now it bounces for Eze, who bobbles it up on his knee and volleys goalwards, and it's well saved by the goalkeeper.
The manager here, Jackson, in front of us, is telling his players to split and play, and they don't seem to want to be quite honest with you. Look, he's come back, he's got that forlorn look on his face, the manager.
Are they cocking a deafen, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they are. He's saying, no, we're not good enough to play through them, we'd rather just boot it.
Ødegaard picks the ball up 10 yards from the edge of the penalty area. Now Saka tries to take on Pires. He goes one way then the other. Goes down the outside now, looking to get the cross in. He does that, stands it up to the far post, almost drops into the net. And it goes past the goal. I think the goalkeeper might have got something on that. It might escape the top of the crossbar as well. And it comes back down the other side.
Yeah, I think he skimmed the crossbar with that. I think it was a cross, I've got to say, but it's beaten the goalie, and I think he's skimmed the bar and come out.
Here is Calafiori into Gabriel. Arsenal putting pressure on once again. Half an hour into the game, still goalless on TalkSport. 80% possession so far for the Arsenal. 5 shots, but only 1 on target so far. They have just skimmed the crossbar with Bukayo Saka. Here is Havertz. Chance to run at the defence for the first time. He goes into the box, pulls the trigger, blocked by Esteve, goes out for a corner.
Esteve done well there, I've got to say. He stood his ground and just got the block in. I think maybe Havertz should have manipulated the ball slightly better. Just looking at a replay of Saka, he's just starting to cause his fullback Perez a problem or two.
I'm not sure it did touch anything.
It's difficult to tell, isn't it, from the angle we've got here?
Yeah, I've got a better angle on the little monitor down here actually just moments ago, and I don't think it did touch anything.
No, I think you could be right.
Here is the corner on the near side. Saka to take it. He's going to try and deliver this to one of those huge muscular figures in the centre. He's going to go short again to Trossard. I'm slightly surprised by that. They work it back to Ødegaard. He's about 5 yards back from the edge of the area. They go down the right, onto Trossard. Saka wants it again. Saka, Mosquera, still Mosquera. Goes down inside the penalty area like he has suffered contact. The referee is saying nothing. The ball goes out of play on this near side. What did you notice from that corner?
I'm just looking at Arsenal. What they do, they take a short corner, shove it along the line, then all of a sudden it's a 5 versus 4 in Arsenal's favour, or 6v5, and they're doing an overload in that area in the hope that Burnley don't get enough players out there quickly enough.
Well, they're giving the throw in to Burnley. I'm not sure how that happened.
Yeah, I think he skimmed off the press from Arsenal.
But you say there's a 4v5 in that area of the pitch, but that area of the pitch is in this right corner, right?
Yes, it is. So it's a tight area.
It's not in that central zone where they can cause damage. And I just wonder, having been so prolific earlier in the season from putting the ball into the box and fighting for it and getting good numbers on the end of those crosses, why you wouldn't elect to do that now?
Well, maybe they've been listening to the media and Arteta wants to play total football.
I doubt it. It's currently Arsenal 0, Burnley 0, and for the latest odds you can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Arsenal to win at 11-2 on. The draw is 5-1. The draw, Burnley to win is 16-1. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18 plus begambleaware.org. This is Talk Sport. It's Monday Night Football. We're live at the home of Arsenal. It's 0-0 between Arsenal top of the pile and Burnley in 19th position. And they need to win, Arsenal, to ensure that when they go to Palace on the final day, they just need to win the title. Mosquera getting back, heads the ball into the arms of David Raya. 13 minutes to go before half-time. The Arsenal fans in brilliant voice as they have been. Lost only one of their last 26 final home games of a Premier League season. Won the last 6 on the bounce. The only blot, a 2-1 defeat to Aston Villa back in May 2011. And they could do with that goal now in this first half. What they mustn't do is gift Burnley chances, because Burnley actually surprisingly have got a very good sort of conversion rate. 41.5%, can only be bettered by 3 other clubs in the league. Here is Saka, lovely little back heel from Ødegaard. He plays it behind Kai Havertz. And I do just think that, the Havertz change is an interesting one, because he hasn't played as much football as Gyökeres, and they don't all appear to be on his wavelength or he theirs. Here is Gabriel moving up to the edge of the box. Havertz has got it now down the left side of the box. Oh, that's into Saka. He tries to finish it. Was he fouled from behind? Well, he went down when it was a tap-in. The referee waves away the protest, and Burnley come out. And Mikel Arteta stands there, hands out aloft after at least a couple of seconds with his hands crossed across his chest. Saka has stayed down. Stuart Pearce.
I think what he's done, Saka's got the run on the fullback, and as he's pulled his foot back, I think he's had contact with a defender, whether that be he's down to Saka or down to the defender, who knows, but the referee was adamant, and to be fair to Arteta, he didn't throw a load of histrionics about it at all. I think
He's having a go at Saka. He's actually having a go at Saka.
Or he's pointing at Saka, suggesting that his player's injured and they didn't stop the game.
They are checking for a possible penalty here.
He's kicked the back of the heel with the defender, so
it was he who initiated contact.
Yeah.
It won't be a penalty, I don't think.
No.
They are checking it. I mean, it shouldn't really take too much. Oh, does he engage first though?
I think I wouldn't give a penalty there personally. I think the defender's done enough to get his foot in front of Saka's swinging left foot.
We have a pause in play here. No penalty is the answer for Paul Tierney, and he can't quite believe it. Mikel Arteta puts his hands over his eyes. It was Lucas Pires who ends up being given a reprieve. It was a good ball by Havertz, wasn't it? I'll tell you what, Stuart, you see it from the other side.
Yeah. What a great opportunity that was, though, I've got to say. Brilliant play by Arsenal, across the face of the goal. He's about 5 yards out, and all he's got to do is make contact.
If the defender isn't there and doesn't make that motion in front of Saka, he doesn't get the ball, then Saka scores.
Yeah, without a doubt. But you would say that he might have got first contact on that ball.
Here is Calafiori moving up towards the edge of the area. Trossard now trying to weave his way into the box. That'd be another controversial decision. We don't really do those very often. Here is Calafiori again. Lovely turn. Pulls it back. Odegaard has taken a deflection and gone wide. He was 10 yards from goal. It was perfectly set for him, backed by the wonderful movement of Calafiori, who jinked back in and sold a dummy to the defender. He teed it back to Odegaard. He cracked it goalwards. It took a deflection and went behind for a corner.
I'll tell you what, he's trying to pull it across the goal, and it's literally hit him up the backside, the defender. And I think he should have gone to the near post personally. And listen, easier said than done, I suppose, after the event.
Corner kick to Arsenal on this near side. Momentum has been building but not yet managed to reach fever pitch. Here is the corner to be taken by Bukayo Saka. This time he does go long towards the goalkeeper. Headed in by Havertz, and Arsenal take the lead at the Emirates Stadium. Of course it's a corner. Of course it's a set-piece goal. Of course it's an assist by Saka, beautifully flighted in towards the middle of the 6-yard box, and Havertz was there to rise highest and nodded beyond Vice to give them the lead. The first goal of the night, the first nudge towards the final step that the Emirates now expects Arsenal to take. Arsenal lead by a goal to nil.
Well, I've got to say they tried 2, 3, 4 short corners, had no joy, and just whipped the ball in from Saka, the goalie in no man's land. And I've got to say, Havertz has rose probably level with a crossbar, just to glance one into the net.
Just 1 goal and 2 assists in his last 12 Premier League appearances since February 2025. Who cares now? Kai Havertz has scored the goal that has put Arsenal in front on the night, and if they win this game they will be so far ahead that it's almost inevitable that they win the title on the final day. They know it, they feel it, they love it. Mikel Arteta jumps into the evening sky, he embraces Nicolas Jaubert. It had to be from a set piece, didn't it, the breakthrough? The first one they put into the box tonight after going short all the other times, and they've scored.
I think I know where the next corner's going, it's fair to say. And if you cast your mind back to that Arsenal, the Man City Arsenal game, when Havertz had that opportunity from his head that he couldn't guide down, he certainly didn't make that mistake on this occasion.
Oh, do you remember that?
The title's finished.
Would already been done,
a bit in that. So
Hannibal picks it up for Burnley. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Out wide it goes to Chowner. Chowner into the penalty area, across the face of goal. Rice puts it out. It's out for a corner at the other end.
I've got to say, and give some credit to Burnley now, they've just gone a goal down on 38, 39 minutes, but they've been in the game here and they're having a right go. They're not like a team that have been dead and buried.
Well, they've been down for a long time. They're probably used to it in terms of getting to deal with the relegation. Corner over on the far side. This is TalkSport. We're live at the Emirates Stadium and Arsenal have taken the lead. We've got 5 minutes before half-time here, and the corner about to come in from Jadon Anthony of Burnley over on the far side. What a brilliant ball in from Saka. Cross towards the far post. They're all up there, including Ugochukwu and Tuanzebe. Ugochukwu's effort goes straight to Raya, and now Arsenal are speeding forward. And it's sent down the right for Saka to chase with Florentino Luis. That was a spicy one back to the goalkeeper, who has to evade the press from Trossard and does so rather easily and goes out to the far side, the right. Better ball there, and they might have been in trouble, Burnley.
Yeah, indeed. As I say, Rice has played the ball. Saka wasn't too keen on sprinting after it, felt as that is a lost cause, but the back pass to the goalkeeper, my goodness me, talk about put too much weight on the ball.
He's been in cracking form, Saka, recently, hasn't he? 2 goals in his last 3 games. He's also set up a couple for Gyökeres prior to tonight, and he's come up with the assist here, which has helped Arsenal get in front in the game. 5 minutes before half-time, the ball goes up towards the midpoint of the half. Jane Anthony is putting the ball in the net at the other end. The referee has already blown the whistle and everybody has stopped. And that certainly won't count, but Jane Anthony maybe didn't hear it because of the noise inside the stadium.
I think I've just seen one of the most ridiculous dives I've ever seen in my life there from Eza. I mean, he's had a slight push, but my goodness me. Jerry Cottle Circus, one of the clowns, wouldn't do something as ludicrous as that.
I haven't been to a good circus for a few years.
I go to one quite regularly called Gifford's every year. It's brilliant. Classical musicians, it's really good and good fun.
Top class circus.
Family, top class
circus. Quality circus.
They only tour in the south of England though. The furthest they go up is sort of probably the bottom of the Midlands.
Maybe I can make a trip.
But they'll set up at places like Blenheim Palace and stuff like that.
Oh,
it's
beautiful.
Very upmarket. Very upmarket.
Oh, I do love a posh clown.
Are you talking about Jordan? Are you really?
Absolutely not. Don't put words in my mouth. Gabriel forward towards Eza. Cuts in field and finds Mosquera. Mosquera now onto Calafiori. Now out to Havertz. Havertz taking it on. He's got Saka down the right. He pokes it back into Ødegaard. Ødegaard jinks forward and it's just a little bit too heavy for Saka again. And it runs through the inside right channel and goes out for a goal kick away to our right hand side. Arsenal, the best XG difference per game in the league this season against Burnley, the worst. They haven't had too many chances tonight, Burnley, but they also haven't just sat back and allowed Arsenal to attack them. They started the game quite brightly. Arsenal grew into it and eventually found their way through with their 18th Premier League goal from a corner this season. 18th Premier League goal from a corner this season.
No, it's not bad going. I'm just looking at Michael Jackson's sacked off, getting off his seat now to tell his team to play out from the back. They've just ignored his overtures earlier.
It's quite interesting, isn't it? Michael Jackson sat down, and I'm not sure that Mikel Arteta has ever sat down. Not for 1 second. He's constantly up and moving, adrenaline flooding through his veins. Here is Trossard moving out towards the far side. Gets it back to Rice. Rice looks up. Ødegaard wants it played to him in the centre circle. Saliba has it. It's curled out to Havertz, who's dropped into the right-hand side. He's got Saka down that right-hand side. Up to Mosquera, onto Havertz, back into Saka, inside the area now. And left-footed corner towards the far post. Oh, it's only narrowly wide. What a goal that would have been. He was just on the cusp of the penalty area, just in the inside right position. He curled that ball with his left foot. It arced so beautifully, it looked like it was coming in at the far post, but it just wouldn't whip round enough. 2 minutes of added time.
No, I think, there's plenty of distance between the post and the ball eventually. But Burnley are just starting to lose their players on the odd occasion when Arsenal are playing through them. And if you do that, that's probably why you're in the bottom three.
2 minutes of added time on Talk Sport, about to be added. We haven't quite got there yet. We've still got 45 seconds of normal time remaining. Burnley, who have now conceded 11 goals from corners, which is another reason why I was surprised it took them so long to actually put one in. Here is Rice to Mosquera. He's got Havertz down the right, the goal scorer. He starts to run forward diagonally towards the edge of the box, feeds it into Saka. Good turn, he looked to try and nudge that through. It did take a flick off a hand, and Paul Tierney said no, handball to be given. Trossard, brilliant. Charges out as Esteve was going to run up the field with the ball. Got in front of him, won it back, and now Calafiori's found Ødegaard. He'll be a bit behind Saka, so Jayden Anthony will mop it up for Burnley, and then they will bring it away down this left-hand side. There's confirmation of that 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first 45. Remember, Alex Crook will be on the programme in a few minutes' time just to explain and deconstruct the latest episode of Premier League drama, which is Pep Guardiola leaving Manchester City. Reports tonight suggesting that, and Enzo Maresca to take over from the start of next season. Details on the way very shortly. If you can't wait just a couple of minutes, then talksport.com is the place to be. This is TalkSport. Here is Mosquera throwing the ball back to Saliba. And Saliba all the way to David Ryan. And the Arsenal crowd just thinning out slightly as the half-time whistle is about to go, but not as much as it usually does here. Usually we're streaming out at this stage, but I think there's just a little bit of a different attitude in here now as they come forward down the right-hand side with Mosquera, who scoops it upfield, looking for Saka. Esteve gets there first, puts it straight out of play, and Ødegaard wants to get it in, then he leaves it because he doesn't want to rush proceedings too much, and they're trying desperately to get up to half-time. I think there's a Wi-Fi problem in this stadium. All the journalists are scrambling around their laptops. Not the right night for the Wi-Fi to go down, fellas. Here is Trossard over on the far side, heading the ball straight out of play.
Yeah, it's a quiet night for the Wi-Fi to go down, really, fortunately for tonight, with Arsenal going 5 points clear and Pep resigning, you know, so incredible.
Exactly what you need. The good job the radio's still working, because otherwise no one would know.
Indeed. And you calling Simon Jordan a posh clown.
That's not exactly what happened. Again, for the second time tonight, you've misquoted me and tried to throw me under the bus. Although I did call Bjork Norwegian when she's Icelandic, apparently, which I did do. That was me. Here is Chauner down the right-hand side. The referee blows the half-time whistle, and there is a ripple of applause. 45 minutes from the title, getting closer than it's been in a generation. The goal from Kai Havertz, he got the breakthrough. The Emirates has been every bit the cauldron that Mikel Arteta needed it to be. Burnley have got nothing to play for, and their away records this season suggest that things could get worse for them after the break. They've shipped 2 or more goals in 15 of their last 18 league trips. There's only 1 so far tonight. Arsenal will be happy about that. City watching on, knowing that any lingering hope is ebbing away. Arsenal lead by a goal to nil. How many can you get into that Vitality Stadium, by the way? Because I imagine there'll be a few more applications for tickets in the next 24 hours. There'll be people trying to get into that stadium tomorrow to speak and to witness Pep Guardiola for one of the last times. Their final game of the season on Sunday afternoon is at the Etihad Stadium, and of course it's against Aston Villa, and we'll be there live, where we'll be at every single game on Sunday afternoons. We take you round the grounds on the final day of the season here on TalkSport, the day that Arsenal will hope to be crowned champions of the Premier League. Here is Rice, edge of the area, right-footed shot from distance. There was a foul in the build-up to that as we get off and underway at the start of the second half. And Arsenal shooting from right to left, this time towards the North Bank, away to our left-hand side in those red shirts, white shorts and red socks with white sleeves, of course, and Burnley all in light blue, attacking the clock end to our right. Raya is the goalkeeper, Mosquera, Saliba, Gabriel and Calafiori, the back 4. It's Rice, Ødegaard, the 2 holders in midfield, with Saka, Reza and Trossard behind Havertz in attack. And the away team, Burnley, Rice is the goalkeeper, Walker, Tuanzebe, Esteve and Pires, Florentino and Ugochukwu, Chauner, Hannibal and Anthony, the 3 behind Fleming in attack. Stuart Pearce is here. Arsenal's job is pretty clear, isn't it? Rack up as many goals as you can get tonight and make sure the job is done.
Well, I would say win the game, full stop. At the moment they're 1-0 up. I think they've taken the game to Burnley. Burnley, to their credit, have stayed in the game, but it's a game of concentration now for Burnley. If they get spread, you think Arsenal can get 2 or 3 more.
Florentino tries to squeeze the ball centrally. Jane Anthony takes over, goes down the outside. A challenge comes in from Mosquera, and the ball Medjbri is ratting around, but Arsenal managed to get it clear through Saliba out to the right side. It's overhit and it goes out of play, and it's out for a throw-in, level with the edge of the centre circle. The last 45 minutes for this crowd to enjoy this team this season. The next time they see them after tonight, here at the Emirates anyway, they could be elite double winners, English champions, or a team that threw it all away. Win tonight, and then again on a trip to Selhurst Park on Sunday, and that's it. All that stands between Mikel Arteta and making Arsenal great again. Here is Esteve away to our left-hand side, giving the ball back to Weiss. He The Burnley goalkeeper tiptoes up towards the edge of the D and then rifles the ball forward down the inside right channel. It's headed away by Calafiori and then further on by Walker. Walker into midfield. It's flicked by Fleming. On to Hannibal. Hannibal taking it down, playing it left to Jayden Anthony, who comes centrally for Burnley, and then out on the far side, the left back Perez, Lucas Perez of Brazil, who has not won any of his 18 Premier League appearances this season. He was actually an unused substitute the last time that Burnley managed to get 3 points in their 3-2 comeback win against Crystal Palace on February the 11th. And the ball goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, Weiss, to clear again. Down the middle it goes, up towards Fleming. Gabriel is on his back. It bounces off Fleming and into the path of Eze for Arsenal, who turned the ball over and now look to construct an attack down the right-hand side. It's sent wide into the path of Mosquera, then back to Rice, and Arsenal controlling the tempo of the game again.
Yeah, what Arsenal don't need to do is drop off the tempo and slow it down. I think that increased tempo and rotation that they've shown in the first half has caused Burnley a big problem, but Burnley have sort of dealt with it and managed to get the blocks on at key times.
Ball is over on the far side of the pitch and Arsenal shuffling it all the way back into their half of the field and finding Gabriel across to Odegaard. He strides forward up towards the halfway line and strokes it into the path of Havertz, the goal scorer, who moves down the right side of the box into Saka. Saka now down the side of the area, feeds it back to Odegaard. Odegaard looking to cross the ball into the centre, just waits, hesitates, chops and goes back the other way. He's now down the right side of the box finding Saka. Saka back to Havertz. Saka again in a little bit more space now, approaches the area, then moves forward, and then it comes infield to Declan Rice, who slips it to Saka, then Odegaard tries to trick his way past the defender, and then it comes out with Jayden Anthony, who travels up the pitch, and then it's blocked by Mosquera, bounds back towards the Burnley goal, and Ugachukwu, and then to Nzebi, and Walker see it across the back line and keep possession. April the 25th, 2004, the day that Arsenal's Invincibles famously secured the Premier League title with a 2-2 draw against Tottenham Hotspur at White Hart Lane. Arsenal went 2-0 up, Patrick Vieira and Robert Pires scored the goals. Spurs fought back, 2-2. A late Robbie Keane penalty levelled things off, but a point was enough that day for Arsenal to clinch the league title with 4 games to spare. It was the same week that Chelsea and Manchester United were battling for second place. Claudio Ranieri was nearing the end of his Tinkerman era at Stamford Bridge. Kill Bill Volume 2 was the #1 film at the box office. And just 2 weeks later, the last episode of Friends was released. Yeah, she didn't get on the plane. Here is Rice. Ball given away on halfway. Picked up by Anthony. Anthony cuts in, tries a shot from distance, and it's over the top of the crossbar. It wasn't too far away, Stuart Pearce, and a little warning for Arsenal. Maybe he could have slept Zian Fleming in.
Yeah, as I say, it shows that strange. Arsenal dominated the game, and a little slip up that happens, and a shot that Raya looked comfortable with. And the most volatile Arsenal fan I've heard, I've got me headphones on and I can hear him shouting about Arsenal this, Arsenal that. I think, my goodness, fella.
He was in the back row of what is the section in front of us. It's the geezer with the bald head who stood up in his little dark jacket and he started screaming at Arsenal. He might be screaming again in a minute here as they come forward down the left-hand side with Trossard trying to get into an advanced position. The boys headed out. Burnley get control of the ball. There's a kick in the back of the leg from Gabriel and it goes out. There's a geezer who's sitting here, no joke, must be what, mid-50s, nearly 60. He's wearing a big jacket, grey hair, quite a larger fella. He's got up, angry, turned round, walked out, stomped up the steps, thrown his hands on the floor. He's not happy with something.
I think you'll find that's the Burnley chief scout.
Either that or he really didn't like one of those foot-long sausages that they sell at half-time and he's gone back to get a refund. Here is Jayden Anthony down the right side. Arsenal are leading by a goal to nil. Here's Anthony there with a cross into a dangerous area and it was right through the 6-yard box. And Arsenal do have to be a little bit careful here, Stuart Pearce, because there's a couple of times in the opening 7 minutes of the second half but Burnley have registered an interest.
Yeah, as I say, we spoke at half time, and Burnley have played pretty decent, I think. They played their part in this game. Arsenal have played well, they moved the ball well, they've asked questions, but they've defended well enough, Burnley, and they're still in the game, so credit to them for that.
Well, they've looked at quite a well-structured team in recent weeks, actually. I thought they were all right in the game against Manchester City as well. Here is Calafiori onto Trossard, down the left-hand side, trying to get into the box. He's held up by Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker loses out with a lovely reverse ball. It's Calafiori into the area. Havertz just about keeps it alive. He tries to steer it back centrally. Bounces on the edge of the box. Rice will bring some poise to proceedings and nudge it back out to the far side. Rice again, right angle of the penalty area. Further to the right now, and it goes on to Mosquera. He's crossing to the box. He's down onto the floor by Eze. It's the top of the crossbar. Well, he volleyed that into the floor. It popped up over the top and kissed the top of the bar. Then goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. Patient build-up.
Yeah, good play there. And, well, once again, Eze's been afforded a lot of space there. Really, really poor defending by Burnley, which we didn't see in the first half. But there's a reason they're at the bottom of the league. It's a concentration thing. Can you do it continually for 90 minutes? Concentrate. And certainly looking at that picture of the box there, Eze had an absolute ocean of space. I think Arteta's moaning it was a touch and should have been a corner.
Chowner trying to get the ball back to Florentino Luis of Burnley in the centre circle. Arsenal trying to do a bit of defending here. Chowner given a little bit too much room. Calafiori wasn't putting enough pressure on him. Chowner didn't use it properly. It's broken down, and now Arsenal have it with Trossard just short of the centre circle. Plays it wide towards the right. Now it's taken on by Martin Odegaard, the captain of the club, with that captain's armband strapped to his bicep tonight after what has been a season of ups and downs for him. He's been a big part of their success at times, but hasn't necessarily been able to influence the games as much as he would like because he hasn't played as many minutes. But he does have the joint most Premier League assists for Arsenal this season. 4 of those have come off the bench. He's made just 24 starts now. Ball down the left-hand side into Havertz. Havertz keeps it alive. He's Eze with a header, flicks off the defender, and it goes into the arms of Rice. And Eze with a header about 6 yards from goal. Hits the back of the defender, Esteve, who was well positioned. It's a good run by Havertz and a good cross as well. Just wonder his arm was in danger of becoming a problem there, Esteve, because it went out towards his right. He was lucky it hit his back.
Well, when you lose a striker in your box, you don't know where he is, and he gets a free header, and you're facing your own goal. You're in the lap of the gods, and on that occasion he got fortunate. Hit him squarely on his number at the back and killed the attack.
It was a bit fortunate there. Maxime Esteve, the French defender, set to bring up 2 landmarks tonight. He gets his 50th Premier League appearance and his 100th in all competitions for Burnley. The 34th Premier League start of the season, already more than any other Clarets defender. You're listening to Arsenal 1, Burnley 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports, stream every remaining Premier League game live on Sky Sports with a flexible Now membership. Search Now Sports. It's Rice heading it away. Mosquera turning it over. Medjbury with a stab tackle which sends the ball forward for Burnley. Jadon Anthony leads the charge. He gets to the edge of the box. They're backing off him. Still Anthony's got it. Gets into the D. Brings Kyle Walker into play. He sets the cross. He does that. Fleming tripped over his own feet and fell over, and that allowed Arsenal to clear. Mosquera is encouraged to go forward up towards the halfway line. It means so much to this Arsenal crowd. That's why there's a little bit of tension creeping in. They lead by a goal to nil, but they want more. And Burnley again with a little bit of encouragement come forward. Hannibal strikes it from distance and he misses by a mile. But the Arsenal supporters are not happy.
No, Mosquera's lost the ball on a couple of occasions there. Once he's rolling round as he's been shot, then he gets up, then he runs out of ideas when he receives it next time and gets dispossessed. And Arsenal have had a couple of decent moments there, Sam, you know, where they could have extended this lead, and until they extend it, it's always going to be a worrying time.
Yes, it feels a little bit tense now, doesn't it? Didn't feel like that in the first half. But Arsenal sort of took the sting out of the game with the tempo that they were playing, and the encouragement was there. But now The feeling is they've just taken their foot off the gas a little bit, invited a bit of pressure, and the Arsenal fans do not want that.
The game's a bit more open now, I get a feeling, more space.
Erdegaard trying to charge into that space, moves up into the midpoint of the opponent's half. He scoops the ball towards Calafiori, and it took a skip off the turf and goes straight behind for a goal kick, but he did have a lot of room there. And you think with the quality that Martin Erdegaard's got, as he gets into this position and all of the different bodies that are in front of him here, could he have done better with that pass? Should he have done better with that pass?
Well, if you're asking, is there anything better than chipping it out of play, the answer is yes. So, there was a pass on to his left-hand side, but he's been a near miss on a couple of passes in the first half, and that one was a little bit more wayward, but he's got the tools to find a pass like that without a doubt.
Mosquera under pressure, gets it back to Gabriel, a little bit short to Rice, but he nipped in and won it anyway. Back it goes towards Calafiori. Come on Arsenal, says the geezer who's come back after throwing a tantrum just moments ago. He's back sitting in his seat now, which is good news. Well, actually, I don't know if it is good news for the geezer who's sitting next to him, but he is back. Here's Erdegaard up to Eze. Eze squeezing between two blue shirts. Paul Tierney blows his whistle, gives a free kick in their favour. This is TalkSport, and remember the breaking news tonight. The latest is that TalkSport understands that Manchester City preparing for a Pep Guardiola exit at the end of the season. And the Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy will address all of that straight after we finish here tomorrow morning. Breakfast with Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist will also reflect that, and White and Jordan. Here's Erdegaard into Havertz down the right side. Saka goes on one and shoots it towards the near corner, and it hits the side netting. Offside flag was up against him anyway, but he can half get behind that.
Yeah, the game's sort of swinging from end to end at the moment. Burnley have decided they need to sort of come out and flourish a little bit. Arsenal have probably created 2 or 3 good chances where Burnley have been fortunate to get blocks in.
Coming up to the hour mark, this is TalkSport. Remember, we've got all 3 EFL playoff finals live and exclusive to national radio this weekend, including Hull versus Southampton in the Championship on Saturday. Maybe. We're also live at the Women's Super League promotion relegation playoff at the Valley. Bottom of the WSL, Leicester away to third place WSL 2 team Charlton. The winner is in the top tier, the loser is in the second tier. It's a one-off fixture as the WSL is expanding to 14 teams next season. Finally, Thomas Tuchel names his England squad. This Friday morning between 10 and 1 we will be across it. Faye Carruthers will be on hand to deliver the news, and we'll have analysis throughout the day, and Steve Clark naming his Scotland squad for the World Cup tomorrow. So around about midday we'll have the former Scotland assistant manager Mark McGee on hand to have a good look at that as well. All 104 World Cup fixtures will be live on TalkSport and TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport app this summer. Here is Rice, just left of the centre circle, with Arsenal leading by a goal to 0 on TalkSport this evening and edging towards the title, the first time in 22 years. 22 years ago, petrol was 80p a litre. Yeah. Don't look at me like that, it's not my fault it's gone up.
It's ridiculous.
Here is Lucas Pires down the left-hand side for Burnley, getting it clear up to Zian Fleming. And it's out of play and away for a throw into Arsenal. And he turns round, Mikel Arteta, to the crowd, and it's Vamos, Vamos, come on, get behind the team, he says, as Saka exchanges passes with Havertz over on the far side. Ugochukwu gets involved. The free kick is given against the Arsenal boys. Is it actually given in favour of Arsenal actually over on the far side, because Mosquera over on the touchline was engaged in something where the ball wasn't, and an assistant on that far side has given it. A very late challenge that. And it's going to be a free kick over on the touchline opposite us, and a chance maybe for Arsenal to craft something from a set piece, Stuart.
Yeah, well listen, that's been the difference between the sides at this moment in time, that set piece. Arsenal the more dominant figure in the game, there's no doubt about that, but still it's the goal scoring tally that is so critical at the end of this game.
Burnley have a home game against the Wolves to wrap up their season. Arsenal go to Crystal Palace and Selhurst Park on Sunday. Between that time, Bournemouth entertain Manchester City, and then it's Aston Villa on the final day for Pep Guardiola's team. Here is Rice in towards the near post, flicked by Calafiori. It goes through a crowded penalty area, but is edged away by Fleming. Headed back down to Calafiori by Saka. Drops inside the box, stabbed away by Esteve, and the offside flag is up over on the far touchline. Anyway, from the assistant over opposite us, Mark Scholes, and it remains 1-0 to the Arsenal. It's a familiar refrain here. They love that, bringing back the 90s and the late 80s. That was definitely the modus operandi of George Graham and his team. Arsenal have been through a couple of different variations since then under Arsene Wenger. A muscular team, the team that could really zip and pass the ball around beautifully, and played a different style of football in England than many had seen before. Certainly played a part in helping to change the culture of the game. Arsene Wenger and Arsenal, they've given the ball away here though, and it's into Chandler inside the area, and across steps Declan Rice just to put out the fire before it starts to rage. And certainly after giving away the ball so cheaply, Declan Rice had to take emergency action.
He did. There was panic stations at the moment. Panic sets in on the terraces before it does in the penalty box, to be honest with you, at the moment, and Declan Rice was the only calm head in that penalty box.
That tension, that nerves, that sort of feeling that it can all go wrong again is so evident tonight, isn't it? And I thought they'd sort of eradicated that in the game against Fulham with the noise that had come out, and even the noise that we had tonight that greeted the players when they were met outside by thousands and thousands of supporters with scarves and banners and smoke which was billowing into the air, red flares set off everywhere. But all of a sudden the start of the second half just hasn't gone quite to plan, and as a result of that there is a bit of frustration. You can hear it, you can see it. We're watching people stand up. The guy that you don't like, by the way, look at him. He's turned round, he's buried his head in his hand, he's turned round to face the back of the wall, he's put his forehead on the white metal fencing which separates the press area to the stands, and he's getting really frustrated. Now he's got back up and he's standing up for the Arsenal.
It's very similar to Perry Groves, isn't he? You know what I mean? Very similar indeed.
Yeah. Similar sort of temperament as well, actually. I haven't seen him tonight bounding around, by the way.
He'll turn up like a bad penny, Rosie, don't worry.
Here's Chalner down the right-hand side. It's still 1-0 to Arsenal. Walker picks it up and sends it on down the right for Hannibal Medjbury. But Rice is there again, and Rice again doing the defensive work, and he's had to do a bit of that tonight. He sends it long though, and he can't find Havertz. I do just wonder if they need a little change here, Arsenal, just to freshen things up as we go into the final 25 minutes of the game. Their bench has been a real weapon. 22 Premier League goals this season, either scored or assisted by an Arsenal sub. That's the most in the division. Odegaard's got 4 assists off the bench. No player has ever managed 5 in a Premier League season. He's already on the pitch tonight, so that won't be the case, but you just illustrate the strength that Arsenal have in depth, and maybe they should dip into that.
Well, listen, they've got one of the strongest squads. I wouldn't be surprised Madueke comes on tonight, and I know as a full-back you're dealing with Saka most of the evening, and all of a sudden Madueke comes on to offer you a slightly different dimension.
Well, Ezra's given the ball away cheaply in the middle of the park, and the angst and anger and aggression from the stands is quite palpable, really, and it's a little bit of an example of how nervous these Arsenal fans are. I'm not sure it's entirely helpful, Stuart, as the ball comes forward from Mosquera onto Saka, back to the halfway line. Rice takes over now. Through the centre circle they go. What do you think about that?
Well, the fans are the slightest little thing that goes not their way, and they're at it now. We didn't see that in the first half in any way, shape or form. They had everyone on board.
Havertz has committed a foul from behind and late, which is going to get him a yellow card.
I think we've got a change in front of us here, Sam, for Burnley.
Like Amdouni is about to come on. Zeki Amdouni is about to come on for Burnley to add a little bit extra. Haven't seen much of him this season because of injury. Returned to action with 2 substitute appearances in Burnley's last 2 games. It was his first senior outing since August 2024 following ACL surgery, so it's good to see him back in Burnley colours. And there is a red card check here for serious foul play. Is it against Kai Havertz? I think it is. It is for that foul by Kai Havertz. He came from behind on Ogachukwu and he was a little bit high. It's not. Is it a red card? I don't think it's a red card. Do you? I don't know. I don't know what's a foul, what's not a foul. He's high. His foot was high, and his studs were up there.
I tell you what, it's nowhere near the ball. I've got to say.
Oh, I don't know, Stuart. I think that might be.
Well, it's nowhere near the ball. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can't say, well, I went for the ball. That is the challenge. Is nowhere near the ball and taking him straight down the back of his leg.
Because his foot is flexed and his studs are up, and they're on the side of the calf. I think the referee's going to have to be called to a monitor here to have a look at it.
Yeah.
And Arsenal could be going down to 10 players.
Yeah. Well, put it this way, you can't turn around and say it's been a harsh one if that is the case.
It's not like that. There's not enough force in it for me that makes me think, oh, red card. But it is so high up on the back of the leg that it could be called into question. Well, I think the check is over, isn't it? No serious foul play.
Has there been no booking here either?
Yes, he got a booking. Yeah. So he got a booking. The referee gave a yellow card straight away.
Yep.
Now, the VAR has looked at it and then thought to themselves, do you know what? Having looked at it, a yellow card is sufficient because there's not enough force to warrant serious foul play. But the way the foot is angled, you have seen in other incidences that be given as a red card.
Yeah, that is. I wouldn't say it's borderline. It's very borderline. It's fair to say. You know, it's dipped its toe into the violent conduct.
Our mate Perry Groves too just got up and asked Arteta to do something. But certainly they need a lift here. There's going to be a change. Off comes Hannibal Mejbri and on comes Al-Dooning.
I think that Arteta and his coaching staff are in a difficult situation at the moment. I don't think they know whether to make an attacking substitution or a defensive one. And sometimes you don't. It gets you like that.
Why would they not want to make an attacking substitution at this stage? Do they feel that Burnley have got some sort of ability to pierce them?
They've got the mentality to sort of hold on what you've got. It's human nature. We're in the ascendancy. We need to win the game. And all of a sudden, there's a multitude of substitutes coming on.
Yeah, well, Josh Laurent is about to come on as well. And he replacing Leslie Ogachukwu? He is. He's going off. So Josh Laurent is on in the centre of midfield, and off comes Ogachukwu. Looks like, is that Victor Gyökeres, Miles Lewis-Skelly and Piero Incapie about to come on. 3, a triple sub for Arsenal, who lead by a goal to nil. And it is worth remembering, they do lead by a goal to nil. I think Hannibal Mejbri was taken off because the referee obviously had booked a couple of players. He's already booked Mejbri in the first half. He is quite a spicy character. He doesn't want to risk the fact that they might go down to 10 players, Burnley. They want to keep as many on the pitch as possible. Kai Havertz is going to be one of those withdrawn. And 3 subs preparing to come on. But Arsenal haven't won the game yet. They're 20 minutes away from doing so. There still might be a few anxious moments between now and the end of the season. Of course, tomorrow night, Chelsea, Tottenham and Bournemouth, Manchester City, and Manchester City will be in a situation now where they just got to win. Ball sent long by Vice, can't find his fullback, goes out of play. It's an Arsenal throw opposite us. Remember, we've got Arsenal versus PSG in the Champions League final, one of 3 live European finals coming up on TalkSport. Saturday the 30th of May, that one. Before that, Palace away in Leipzig at the Conference League final against Rayo Vallecano. And then Wednesday night, we sent Gabi Agbonlahor to Istanbul. Aston Villa in action against Freiburg. Here's the confirmation of changes. Oh, there's a huddle between Mikel Arteta, Gyökeres, Lewis-Skelly and Incapie before they come on. Calafiori comes off. Off comes Kai Havertz. He's another one. And the final one of the changes, who's that going to be? Haven't got enough forwards. Poor old Rob Jones, he's trying to juggle with the boards. Yeah, look, there's Eze coming off for Miles Lewis-Skelly. Interesting. So Lewis Skelly on for Eze. Yokeres on for Havertz, who scored the only goal of the game so far. And Calafiori is off and Nkapie on. What difference do those changes make? Stuart Pearce.
Well, I think Lewis Skelly potentially might be a more, safety first, if you like, potentially. I think it's more of a like for like in certain positions, but a more defensive midfield player than Eze.
Does it give them more control in midfield?
That's what they'll be hoping for, without a doubt, and not to be broken on any given time. I think they'll sit Declan Rice back, Lewis Skelly back in that midfield area.
Allows Ødegaard to get a little bit higher up the pitch, maybe?
Yeah, and maybe even in a more central area potentially.
Well, he's just been sandwiched by 3 Burnley players all at the same time. And then he wants to have a lash out, Ødegaard, at Fleming. Fleming is giving him words back. Lewis Skelly's trying to just take the temperature out of things, and the free kick is going to be taken over on the far side, the right. Currently Arsenal 1, Burnley 0. The latest odds from Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Arsenal to win at 20-1 on. The draw is 10-1. Burnley to win is 50-1. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes 18+. BigGambleAware.org. Let me give you the table. As it stands right now, Arsenal going 5 points clear of Manchester City at the top of the Premier League. Manchester City will have to win both their games and hope that Arsenal don't win on the final day of the season to eclipse them and be champions. Arsenal know that if they racked up a few more goals tonight, they actually could even afford to draw on Sunday and maybe win the title, depending on what the result is of the Bournemouth game on Tuesday night, which we'll keep you updated with tomorrow. But Arsenal's job is clear, win both games, they're title winners. They're winning this one at the moment. Rice into the penalty area, overhits their delivery, and it bounces through the 6-yard box and goes out for a goal kick. Not the best delivery from Declan Rice so far this season. Just a little bit too much on it, Stuart.
Well, I would counter that with a saying it's almost landed near the far post area in the 6-yard box. Goalkeeper couldn't come for it. I would fully expect someone coming in at the back post to knock that off, in fact.
Well, you think that someone could have reached that?
Not reached it, no. Everyone's gone across the middle to near post. I think someone should be coming round the back for that eventuality.
Ball is picked up far side by Saka, sent back to Rice. Rice hits it long up towards Trossard, who doesn't get anything on it. It runs through to Walker, Nkapie and Chowner collide on this near side. Chowner goes down and he's rolling around, and Paul Tierney calls on the medical staff, and I think James Ward-Prowse is about to come on.
Yeah, Tierney's not seen that. Paul Tierney's not seen what's happened there. He's just seen a player hit the deck. In all honesty, I think his half just slipped, to be honest with you.
Didn't like much, but he does look in some pain, Charlie, doesn't he, down in front. There's another stoppage of play. More tension to surround the Emirates Stadium. By the way, at the end of the game, they're going to do a lap of honour. They're going to do a speech to the crowd. Mikel Arteta's going to speak to everybody, so is Martin Ødegaard. So we're going to be here for a little bit longer than usual as we take some of that in. The Sports Bar will take your calls from 10 o'clock. 03717 222 That is the number to call if you want to get involved with Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara. Ben White up watching from on high. We've got pictures of him. He's injured, out for the rest of the season, but hopefully collecting a winner's medal in the Premier League for the first time. David Raya, by the way, he is giving some welly to someone. He's screaming and shouting on the edge of his own penalty area in his defence, getting them to line up here. Mikel Merino missed him towards the end of the season, haven't they? He used to pop up with the odd crucial goal at the crucial time. He's sitting up on high as well, watching on as Arsenal toil a little bit here in the second half against Burnley. They need more goals. James Ward-Prowse about to come on. Chowner, who's had treatment, is still off the pitch, so Burnley currently down to 10 players, and Arsenal looking to progress over the halfway line with Gabriel. Trossard down in towards the inside left channel, looking for Nkapie, who is engaged by the defender. Tuanzebe run across his back. He went down looking for a penalty that he's not going to get, and the referee is about to bring on a substitute.
I think he just exposed his buttocks actually as he went down, if truth be known.
I wasn't going to tell everybody that.
It's a need to know basis. That is quality.
So what happened was, as they ran into the penalty area down the left side, he went down on the floor, being pushed to the ground by Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe, as he's gone down, has stepped on his shorts. His shorts have come off, and we've got the full moon, haven't we?
We have.
We've got the full moon, and no wonder we're cracking up.
And Tuanzebe whispered to him as he went past, "Where did I leave my push bike?" I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Oh, that's going to be a me. Well, hopefully Arsenal are hoping that they don't have their pants pulled down here. Gyökeres has just nudged in front of Weiss. Weiss has got in front of him and brought him down. The referee's holding because there might well be a decision to make here. Well, the ball was played back by his step to his goalkeeper. Gyökeres shut him down. Weiss took an extra touch and then he got in front of the goalkeeper, but I think he just placed his legs in between the goalkeepers.
I don't know what these goalkeepers think about how much they're in a different time zone to everyone else on the pitch, aren't they? You can see him getting tracked down and the goalie just takes an eternity.
Well, it's only his second appearance in the Premier League, Max Weiss, and he didn't take a massive risk there, didn't he? I mean, you can understand why his head might be scrambled having seen what he's just seen. You know, don't expect to see that every day of the week, but Rob Jones just explaining to Mikel Arteta why a penalty wasn't given. And I do think that Mikel Arteta will be asking a few questions about some VAR decisions tonight. James Ward-Prowse has stolen a few yards. Everybody on this side of the ground is telling the fourth official and the referee that he's done that. He's now back a little bit further and he's about to send a free kick into the Arsenal box. It's Arsenal 1, Burnley 0. And there's been so much stoppage, so much lack of rhythm in this second half, so much frustration, so much tension, anxiety, and just it's almost stifled it as a game of football, hasn't it, Stuart?
But I think that's playing into Burnley's hands, I really do. As I say, they've survived the two challenges at the start of the second half from Eza, and since then Arsenal have not created a great deal, and Burnley have broken the tempo of Arsenal.
You're listening to Arsenal 1, Burnley 0 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. 10 minutes to go, and up goes the ball towards the middle of the Burnley half from David Raya. It's headed away, but then pushed forward by Gabriel. Again, it's just heavy, just emergency. It's not with poise or thought. It's all done a little bit too rushed, and I just wonder whether or not that nervous energy is starting to flood into not only the veins of the supporters but that of the footballers as well as we reach the final 10 minutes of the game. It's a little bit anxious. Here is Ødegaard, ball into Mosquera, who gets away from the defender and finds Gyökeres. Gyökeres on the Trossard now, left edge of the area. They need a goal to settle the nerves. The cross comes from Capio, produces the cross, it takes a bash off the defender Zeki and Dooney, and it goes out for a throwing down by the corner flag. Well, Arsenal are making sure that they're putting pressure on the Burnley back line, but I don't think Max Weiss has had too many saves to make, and two more changes from Mike Jackson, Brun Larson and Humphreys are going to just increase the freshness amongst the Burnley ranks. Here's a long throw from Declan Rice, about to toss the ball in from the left touchline. He's level with the edge of the penalty area. He goes short to Nkapie instead. Nkapie looks up, feeds it into Miles Lewis-Skelly. He finds Trossard. Trossard scoops it back to Lewis-Skelly. Hooked away by Zian Fleming. Rice will get hold of it right side. He needs someone to provide an outlet, but he didn't want to force it into the box, so goes back to Saliba, goes back to Raya, and he's deep inside his own half. Ball cleared upfield. Gabriel has stayed in, that ball's going to go out. Well, tick, tock, tick, tock. 9 minutes plus injury time to play. Arsenal getting closer. That is the confirmation of the changes. Esteve coming off, Bashir Humphries coming on. Esteve doesn't look entirely comfortable, and Chowner coming off, and Brun Larsen coming on. It's 4 changes now for Burnley. It's been a stuttering performance second half from Arsenal, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is. And as I say, you've got to give some credit to Burnley. They've, the energy levels they've shown in the game have made it it's not been a walkover like a few of us, including myself, thought it might be.
Yep, and listen, you do have to give them credit, but at the same time you also have to raise the prospect that this is the game that Arsenal have to win the title, and it is their job to do that. If they want to be champions, they have to win this game.
Yeah, they do, and they are.
Here is Ødegaard, deep inside their own half. And in fairness, it's also worth remembering that it wasn't so long ago that we went with Manchester City to Turf Moor, and they only won 1-0 as well. Here is Raya, down the left side of the box, looking for the run of Gyökeres. Gyökeres causing tension for Tuanzebe. He gets the better of him inside the penalty area. Walker has to come across, and Weiss just about clears as the ball goes back to him. And that was good from Gyökeres. He was full of power and speed there, and he got in behind. Nketiah with a poor ball forward gives it to James Ward-Prowse, who lends it out, gets it back again, and sends it into the left wing for Lucas Perez to go and challenge with Mosquera. It goes out of play, and it's away for a Arsenal throw in the right full back area. You don't want to be a gunner with a weak heart tonight, do you?
You certainly don't. As I say, these last 10 minutes or so will be very, very interesting. Burnley making a real fist of this match.
Nerves, sweat, prayers, whatever it takes, they've got to get over the line. Ødegaard's just pulled up over on the far side. What's happened there? He ran towards Fleming and then just pulled up, and he's now down on his haunches. He's getting back up again now, Martin Ødegaard.
Yeah, those two have been at each other a little bit. Fleming's trying to do his best to throw his weight around.
Zian Fleming, who was involved in that war of words with Ødegaard not so long ago, and now Jayden Anthony's getting involved in that as well. Ødegaard gets it back to Mosquera, who sends it long and high into the night sky. Gyökeres trying to challenge with it with 2 defenders. He does well to occupy them both. Bashir Humphries is over there, but Gyökeres does brilliantly. Absolutely superb. That's what they want, that's what they need. He's got everyone on their feet cheering it. He used his body, his brute force, just to occupy 2 central defenders and edge the ball out of play and win a throw-in for Arsenal high up the field.
Yeah, just what Arsenal needed there. He's chased an absolute lost cause. 2 defenders around him. He's just too strong for him and too cute.
Arsenal in front with 5 minutes to go on TalkSport. They toss the ball in over on the far side. It's connected by Gabriel, sliding it forward to Trossard. Trossard heavy touch. Across comes James Ward-Prowse. The problem is, while it's still 1-0, there's always that little concern that just one mistake, one breakaway, one shanked clearance all sends it in favour of Burnley, and the whole thing collapses. Because if they don't win tonight, Manchester City will probably win the title. They've got to win. Tuanzebe. Ward-Prowse, halfway line for Burnley, who trail by a goal to nil to a Havertz goal from a set piece. Bashir Humphries sends it out to the Burnley left. Infield it goes to Jayden Anthony. Back to Bashir Humphries again, then on to Lucas Perez, who tries to run forward. Declan Rice is there again, and Arsenal with a free kick. Ground out, not free flowing, I think is probably the way to describe it. This is how Arsenal have done it all season. 7 1-0 wins in the league. They last won more by that scoreline in 1998-99, the year of Arsene Wenger. The boring Arsenal job of the 90s, repurposed for a modern twist. I'm not sure they're boring, but they certainly do make sure that pragmatism is the order of the day more often than not now. That swashbuckling football that they played initially under, well actually they played pragmatic football initially under Arteta, then got a little bit more swashbuckling, and then they've just pared that back this season to try and get over the line. Their defensive record has been superb. They have scored a lot of goals really, but the 1-0 to the Arsenal take, this will be the 8th time in the league this season that's happened, and I think that will stick. Well, they won't care. win the league. Doesn't matter how you do it, you just got to win the league. They've won a free kick over on the far side. Miles Lewis-Skelly, 69 goals scored. They may well end up being the lowest Premier League champions since Leicester in 15-16, 11 games this season. They've won 1-0 in all competitions. The defence is the thing that's won it for them, and the set pieces. And the set piece and the defence have done their jobs tonight.
I think when we spoke pre-game about Havertz in the starting lineup, well, he was started, he got the goal, he comes off, and Gyökeres is galloping the channels now with a bit more space. So that was probably the sensibility behind that selection.
Maybe the game plan has worked out, and if it ends like this, the game plan has worked out. Here is Rice into the centre. Again, no one at the back post. Goes back to Trossard, who volleys it, but he doesn't get it accurately on target. And from the edge of the area, he sort of veered it away towards the far post, and it was always going wide of the goal and out for a goal kick. 1-0 to the Arsenal, 2 minutes to go. And maybe, just maybe, they have done enough to get over the line tonight. Humphries brings it out of defence. He runs up into the midpoint of his own half, plays it wide towards the right-hand side. The clock watchers are looking up nervously to the clock end away to our right, where there's that big white clock that they took from Highbury. They know there's only 2 minutes left. Gyökeres takes the ball, turns, runs at the defence, gets into the area, forced his way past one defender but can't get past Tuanzebe. And then the ball is given away on the edge of the area, and Odegaard has picked it up, and it's gone down the left fortuitously into Trossard. Trossard taking on James Ward-Prowse. He's got 3 waiting inside the area. Keeps hold of it well. A little flick round the corner for Lewis-Skelly, who pulls it through the 6-yard box, but did he run out of room? The ball went out of play. He didn't find a red shirt anyway. And now they move forward, Burnley. Out over on the left-hand side. Again, our friend is very vocal away to our left. He's probably about 6 seats away from us. He's getting a little bit angry and a little bit more anxious. Very loud. He knows that these are pivotal moments in Arsenal's season. They're about to go 5 points clear. Tuanzebe. You think it's tense and nervous in here, by the way, right now, and you think that the fans are getting frustrated. Wait until they see how much added time is going to be put up by the 4th official. Rice clears away. Gyökeres charging forward. He won't let that go. He gets hold of it. He takes it down the left. He's fighting with Tuanzebe. Showed too much of it to Tuanzebe, who sees it back to Rice. But he has come on and he's just caused a few problems. He's put the seed of doubt into the mind of the defenders, Stuart.
Well, he's doing a brilliant defensive job at the front of the team, it's fair to say.
Well, you can hear it. You can hear the nerves. You can feel the stadium every time Arsenal lose the ball, or every time something doesn't go off. There's a sharp intake of breath. And what about now? 7 minutes of added time at the end of the last home game of the season, game 37, as they look to go 5 points clear with less than a week to go in the season. James Ward-Prowse comes forward. The Arsenal fans increase the volume. The ball is sent wide to Luca Pires into the box. Up goes Raya. Well, Zian Fleming was rather physical with Raya there, and he went thrusting into the goalkeeper, and he's going to get a yellow card for that.
Yeah, I think there's no reason why he should actually cede to the goalkeeper, and he's made an attempt at going for the ball. Albeit there's a foul on there, it's fair to say, but yeah, sorry, I got that one wrong. He's jumped straight into the goalkeeper.
Well, it was his arm that went into the sort of head of David Raya, which was just so unnecessary, wasn't it? Absolutely unnecessary thing to do, and he's landed awkwardly. He's hit the back of his hip. He's holding on to that now, and that will add even more minutes on. And some of the Arsenal fans are deciding that they're going to leave. Not many, by the way. It used to be, Mikel Arteta sort of spoke about this. You know, he was looking at the fact that when he first came in all those years ago, there was a disconnect between the supporters and the team. Everyone would leave right at the end. But people don't leave anymore, certainly not in their droves. They're waiting here for tonight, because tonight could be so significant in their history. It hasn't been a great football match. But then again, Arsenal have all been about just getting the job done this season, and they might just about get the job done. And with 5 minutes of added time still to play, they're about to bring on Zubamendi and Martinelli. Leandro Trossard, who's gone down injured on this near side, is coming off. He's given everything again tonight, Trossard. I think the other change they're going to make is Martin Odegaard. I think he's coming off and will be replaced by Zubamendi. So two changes right at the end of the game for Arsenal, and they'll hope that both of those two players, Trossard and Odegaard, are not too badly injured, because not only will they need them Sunday, but they'll need them for the Champions League final live on TalkSport in about 13 days' time.
Yeah, every game's a cup final for Arsenal. Every minute's a cup final for Arsenal at this moment in time, and you know, from a time where they're thinking to themselves, we need to get over the line and maybe get a few goals, all of a sudden it's damage limitation, 1-0 to us, let's go.
Well, there's more breaking news tonight which will reflect on the sports bar. Pep Guardiola expected to leave Manchester City, and Enzo Maresca expected to take charge. TalkSport understands that Enzo Maresca has already agreed to take charge of Manchester City in the summer. And we'll have more details on that straight after we finish at 10 o'clock tonight. The Sports Bar with Jamie and Jason, 03717223344. Manchester City currently watching on from the hotel room somewhere with Bournemouth tomorrow on their minds, knowing that they have to win to keep this title race alive going into the final day of the season, because Arsenal are going to win here unless Burnley can find an equaliser in stoppage time. 94 minutes on the clock. We're back underway after a delay for the substitutions and the treatment of David Raya, who's still stretching out that hip, manipulating that waistline, trying to ease off the tension that has crept into his body after falling foul of a Zian Fleming arm into the face. Away by Rice. Martinelli has come on and he's trying to feed Gyökeres. It's cleared away by Walker. Up towards the halfway line, prodded clear once again. Infield it goes to Saka, who throws himself in front of Luca Pires. That's going to be a yellow card because he led with his arm. He's the latest to go in the referee's notebook.
Yeah, I think it was his foot up that Saka's suggesting he's caught one. Whether he did or not, that is... He certainly didn't catch it in the face, I don't think. No, like he's suggesting. But
he sort of went up with his foot and then pushed him on the back with his hand, didn't he, down, and there wasn't any contact, I don't think, on Saka's head with the foot, so we will just get the free kick. This is about 15 yards inside opposition territory. Arsenal don't look as if they're lining up to try and add to their advantage now. They look like they're managing the game out. They're edging their way to that final whistle. Every second counts. Just eat it up. Just get there, over the line. Go 5 points clear. No one cares in this stadium how they get the victory as long as they get the victory. Ball into the area. It's away by the Burnley defence. Amdouni is held up by Lewis Skelly. That's going to be a free kick. It's been a hard watch at times. It must be even harder watch if you're an Arsenal persuasion.
yeah, these last 10 minutes or so have been tough for them. They've sort of knocked on the door but can't breach Burnley. The longer the game goes on, the more Burnley are comfortable within the game, if truth be known.
Yeah, certainly feels that way. Here comes Martinelli racing through. Gyökeres has nudged it through to the edge of the area. Oh, he's overhit the ball. He's gone down. He's never going to get anything for that. But he overran it, Martinelli, as he dragged them up the pitch. He was fed by Victor Gyökeres. He tried to get towards the edge of the area. He stumbled after a heavy touch and he went down. He's come off the bench so often this season in the Champions League and done damage, hasn't he, Martinelli? Just couldn't quite hold his nerve there.
No, as I say, he just fell foul to the fact it was Kyle Walker and his pace. If it wasn't for that Kyle Walker and his pace, he would have been clear.
Burnley haven't had a shot on target in the game. 62% possession for Arsenal, 13 shots, 3 on target, just 37 touches in the opponent's penalty area, just the one big chance. And Burnley yet to have a shot on target. Arsenal hope that it stays that way as we go into the 7th and final minute of stoppage time. Ball out wide towards the Burnley left, taken on by Brun Larsen. Back in field to James Ward-Prowse. Burnley in search of a goal that will not only give them a point, but also put the cat amongst the pigeons as far as the title race is concerned. Arsenal holding on. Amdouni tries to go on the outside of Gabriel. He holds the ball off. He holds Amdouni off. It goes out for a goal kick. He tries to lift the crowd, and the tension is unbearable for some. Puffing out of the cheeks, prayer hands in front of the face. Beads of sweat forming on brows. Nails bitten to the quick. Is it going to happen? Are they going to edge over the line? Are they just going to dip at the right moment and just win by a nose? That's what it feels like. They want the whistle to go. There will be a slight bit of added time. Arsenal laying the ghosts of seasons past. Tony Adams, 1998, rolling his left foot through the ball against Everton to seal the first Premier League title. Sylvain Wiltord, 2002, that goal at Old Trafford. In 2004, they wrapped it up against Spurs, of all places. But they need a moment in front of their fans, knowing that they can go to Selhurst Park on the final day and win the title if they get all 3 points. We've played our 7.5 minutes of added time. Surely the whistle's going to go now. The set piece has won the day, or has it? Bashir Humphries comes up from the back. Burnley have won a throw-in on the far side. Some people have got their whole hands in their mouth. They don't know where to bite. They're so tense. The ball's thrown into the box. It's headed away by Saliba. Charged out towards the far side. Walker delivers it. It's loose in the box. It's hammered away upfield by Saliba once more. Gyökeres chases it, but Larson puts it out. It goes out of play. Surely now the whistle will go. Paul Tierney speaks to Zubamendi. He just wants clarification of how many seconds are still to play. They want the whistle blown here. The tension is palpable. It's a tinderbox that is ready to explode the minute that he puts the whistle to his lips. Paul Tierney glances over at the fourth official. Mike Jackson, Mikel Arteta, they're both in the ear of the fourth official over on the far side. It's thrown in. It comes off Lucas Perez. It goes out of play. Mikel Arteta can't deal with the tension. He's patrolling, prowling inside the technical area. He can't stand still. He's looking at the ground. His hands are in his pocket one moment, then they're out, stroking his hair the next. He's now standing with his hands on his hips as the ball is thrown in play onto the feet of Mosquera, who's trying to get down that right touchline. He gets into the box, he sends a cross in, it's fended away by Tuanzebe. 99 minutes and 24 seconds of in play. The ball's out of play, and then it is over. Listen to that noise. The Emirates roof almost comes off with a sigh, a scream of relief. Mikel Arteta jumps for joy. One step closer, one more to go. From here, it's theirs to lose. And after a performance like that, there might still be some tension. An Arsenal victory. Havertz with the goal. It had to be a corner. It was a corner. Their 18th Premier League goal from a corner this season, and the equation now could not be simpler. If Manchester City fail to beat Bournemouth tomorrow night, the title returns to North London for the first time in 22 years. Mikel Arteta, who took over a club that had been mid-table, has dragged this Arsenal back to the top of English football. Tonight the Emirates is starting to dream of holding that trophy aloft. They said Arsenal would bottle it, but Arsenal said, not tonight. Years of frustration met with 3 precious points, and 3 more seal the deal. Not pretty, but it's finished. 1-0 to the Arsenal.